Well, imagine being told that you are in network before a surgery and then being told, psych, no, you're not.
Yeah, you're not. Okay, so it happened to an Elk Ridge man facing tens of thousands of dollars in surprise medical bills. He decided it was time to get Gephardt, and Matt began investigating.
Last summer, Neil Meredith had blood clots in his legs.
We need to get you in now. It's urgent enough. It's emergency.
But even with life-threatening urgency, Neil took a beat to dot his I's and cross his T's with his insurance.
We want to make sure it's covered.
Neil was assured it was. He was given this predetermination of medical necessity, which you can see a representative for his insurance company determined authorization not needed.
Authorization not needed.
Authorization not needed.
What does that mean to you?
That means it's not needed to get it done.
Neil actually needed 2 procedures, and he got the same authorization not needed declaration for each. And with the second one, he was assured even more directly that he was good to go. A message from the hospital: we did call your insurance again today, and they verified you are in network with this hospital, and there is no reauthorization required for this procedure. But that turned out not to be true. Neil's insurance company says the hospital is not in network, and he now owes the hospital close to $80,000.
You went to the trouble of asking this question before you had the procedure.
Yeah.
And you're still getting these bills?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem fair.
No. And they made slight changes over the couple months to actually find more bills to add on to.
Neil says that his protests with both his insurance company and the hospital have gotten him nowhere. He says he does not have that kind of money. He could declare bankruptcy, but lawyers tell him that would likely cost him his home.
So what are you going to do?
So far, fight anywhere I can.
To that end, Neil decided it was time to call me. I began by reaching out to Neil's insurance company, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, asking, how can you refuse to pay after telling the hospital that authorization was not needed? I heard back from a spokesperson who told me simply that they would not be commenting for this report for privacy reasons. I also reached out to the hospital, Utah Valley Hospital here in Provo, to ask about those massive bills that were being passed on to Neil. Their spokesperson did not hide behind privacy laws. They got Neil's permission to comment, and they did comment with good news for their patient. In an email, that spokesperson wrote, Utah Valley Hospital believed the procedure would be considered in-network coverage based on communication with representatives at Blue Cross Blue Shield. However, since the procedures were scheduled on a day different than the initial emergency room visit, Blue Cross Blue Shield eventually denied emergency coverage. Since then, the insurance company has covered some of the cost of the procedures. The remaining amount has been written off by the hospital, and Mr. Meredith's balance owed is $0. But that is not the end of this story. Neil also filed a complaint with the Illinois Department of Insurance, where his insurance company is based. And after review, the insurance company told Illinois regulators that they messed up. The insurance company admitted that their reps said Utah Valley Hospital was in network. And due to this inaccurate information being provided, the claim was now being reprocessed. So that could mean the hospital will recover at least some of the money that they wrote off. As for Neil,
Lose a lot of sleep over it.
well, he won't get those sleepless nights back, but he is now moving on with his life debt-free. He says it's just too bad that it took calls to regulators and reporters to get to this point.
It's really hard to get insurance and IHC to talk to each other.
Had his insurance company believed this was a true emergency, Neil likely would not have found himself in this position. The Affordable Care Act mandates that emergency services be covered at in-network rates without prior authorization at any hospital, and the No Surprises Act limits out-of-network billing in such cases. If you've got a problem you can't solve, give me a shot at it. The number 385-707-6153, or you can email me, matt@ksl.com.
Matt, that whole thing was exhausting.
Yeah.
I'm glad it ended the way that it should for him, though. Man. All right. Great story. Thank you, Matt.